So, Bhagavad Gita, we were discussing 2.5. Please sing after me. Gurun hatva hi mahanubhavan
Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan
श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यमपीह लोके
bhaikshyamapiha
श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यमपीह लोके
shreyubhoktum bhaikshyamapiha loke
हत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरून् हैवा
hatvarthas kamastu guruni haiva
भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान्
Bhunjiya bhogan rudira pratiktam.
Yes. So we saw Arjuna said, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So, yes, we were reading from Gita Bhushan commentary, where we discussed how Arjuna was saying this to Krishna, that they are great souls, they are Mahanubhavan. And he was basically praising the qualities of his masters, his guru, Bhishma and Dronacharya. And yes, he was saying that it's not appropriate to kill them because they are superiors. So we will continue discussing where we left. Mm. So here we saw, did we completed this commentary?
Um, no,
Mm.
no, not this part about creating impediments in the next
Vow
life.
never to marry. Okay, let me check if we.
Oh, no, actually, I remember you should reject Bhishma and others to their teachers. What was the previous? Can we see what was before this or after?
He means, first of all, I'm confused. Were we on 2.5 or 2.4?
Um,
Yeah, we read this. I remember we read this in this meter, this verse.
yes.
Hmm. So we covered this part. We also read how Krishna said that you should reject Bhishma and others because they are also contaminated with the arrogance for war. Yes, we read this also. Probably, we completed this commentary. Yes. We also see how Bhishma took a vow never to marry so that he would not have heirs to throne. We read this also.
Mhm.
And then he also said that how a man is the servant of wealth, but wealth is not the servant of anyone. We read this also. So, yes, probably we completed this whole commentary. So, okay, we will continue with the purport of Prabhupada, and later, if we'll have time, we will also discuss few story about Bhishma Deva. So, let's see. According to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance. Although they should not have accepted such a position, simply on financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. So, I did little study about um, the story. I don't know, I wrote it somewhere. Yes, so yes, I did a study. So, Bhishma Deva, we were discussing in our previous class that Bhishma Deva was a brahmachari, and because of that reason, he was not a king. But this was actually not true. Later, I was not satisfied with what we discussed. So, I did little study, and yes, let's discuss. So, Bhishma Deva, he said that he will be a servant of one who will sit on the throne. He said like this. So, yes, we discussed that how his father was Shantanu Maharaj and he had two wives. First is Satyavati and second is Mother Ganga, the Ganga river itself. So, yes, Satyavati had two sons from Bhishma Deva's father, Shantanu. And those two sons were Vichitraveer and uh, Chitrang. It's okay if you don't remember the names. Just know that the second wife of Shantanu Maharaj, who is father of Bhishma Deva, she had two sons, and the first son was Chitrang, who became the next king after Shantanu. So Shantanu Maharaj, he left his body after some time. Then Bhishma Deva, he already told to his father that I will remain a brahmachari and also a servant of the one who will sit on the throne. I will never become a king. So, yes, Satyavati was concerned that, you already have a son and he will become a king. So, that's why I will not get married. But later, Bhishma Deva, he gave this vow to his father. So, his father was pleased with him and he gave him this benediction of he can die by his own will. So, do you want to learn about the story in little detail?
Yes, please.
So, Chitrang, he was very sincere and responsible king. And once he had a battle with Gandharvas. But Gandharvas defeated him, Chitrang, the first son of Satyavati. They defeated him and then he died in the war. Later, Vichitraveer, the second son of Satyavati, became the next king. So this is, tradition that after father, his elder son will become the next king. After his elder son, next son will become the king. So like that, it goes like this in descendants. So Vichitraveer, he became the next king, but he was not very careful. He was careless and he was more into sense enjoyment. He was very carefree and yeah, he was not responsible at all. So her mother was concerned about him that being a king, he's not, very liable and responsible. So she thought of getting him married. She decided that I will marry my son. So there, this was Hastinapur where they were ruling. Hastinapur is the name of that kingdom. And there were other many small kingdoms. One of the kingdom was of the king of Kashi Naresh. Now Kashi Naresh, he's also king, and he had three daughters. So we already discussed in case of Draupadi that how they put Swayamvar, where a girl has right to choose husband of her choice, right? So here also they she he had three daughters, so he put this program where her daughters may choose husbands of their own choices. But you know what? Because Kashi Naresh, see, every father wants that her daughter may marry with a very nice, responsible man. But he already knew about Vichitraveer, that how he was very irresponsible, and he was not very nice. So he didn't give any invitation to Hastinapur. Ideally, it is an etiquette, or a standard, that a king, when he's organizing such programs, so he will invite a different he will invite kings from different cities. All the cities, he will have to give invitation to all the cities. But here he didn't give any invitation to Hastinapur. Now when Satyavati, the mother of, uh, you already know, second wife, when she got to know about it, so she became very angry. That what is this? Like, why didn't he give invitation to us? So Satyavati, already wanted, um, her son to get married with the daughters of Kashi Naresh. She already had this thing in her mind. But later, when she got to know that the king didn't invite them, so she became very angry. So, later she instructed to Bhishma Deva to go and take those girls. So, those three daughters, their name was Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. These were their names. So now, first daughter Amba, she was already in love with someone. So yeah, she was already in love with someone, and other two daughters, they were not, means they didn't have any affair with anyone. So, but Bhishma Deva didn't know this. He went. First of all, he said that, oh, how it's possible? I am a brahmachari and I am not supposed to go in such programs where, ladies or girls are choosing their husbands. So I'm not supposed to go such places. So yes, this is also a standard that a brahmachari should always avoid visiting such programs, such ceremonies. So yes, he was saying that, no, how can I go? I can't go. I'm sorry. But Satyavati was telling him that, no, you have to go, because I'm saying you, because I'm telling you, you have to go and take those girls. So she was very angry and she wanted to take revenge from that king. So yes, she instructed Bhishma Deva, because Bhishma Deva was already very potent. And when he visited the kingdom in that program, so every king out there, they were so much afraid of Bhishma Deva, because Bhishma Deva was very strong, very potent. So no one didn't dare to participate in that program. They were not coming in front to participate in that program, because they were very fearful that how can we participate in front of Bhishma Deva. Bhishma Deva is so potent, this that. So yes, they were very fearful and no one was participating. Bhishma Deva was challenging everyone that, please, I challenge you, you come and fight with me. If you don't fight, so give these girls to me, I will take these girls with me. So either you fight, I'm challenging, but no one was daring to come and fight with Bhishma Deva. So then he was saying that, okay, if you are not fighting, then you give me these girls. I will take these girls. So yeah, this was what it was going. Then later, somehow Bhishma Deva, he took those girls. So yes, this was basically the rule that any king who would be very strong, would be potent, he may win those girls. So Bhishma Deva did like that. Now, problem was that when Bhishma Deva was taking those girls back to Hastinapur, so those girls were thinking that they will marry with Bhishma Deva because Bhishma Deva has won those girls. But Bhishma Deva was a brahmachari. So how can that be possible? So, but they were thinking that Bhishma Deva has won us, so we will get married with Bhishma Deva. But later, when they came Hastinapur, they came to know then that they were supposed to get married with Vichitravira, and they didn't like Vichitravira. How can you marry with someone to whom you don't know or to whom you don't like? Because he saw skills of those girls saw the skills of Bhishma Deva, the potency of Bhishma Deva. So this was accepted that okay, we can marry Bhishma Deva, and they were again and again telling to Bhishma Deva that no, you want us, so you have to get married
So
with
how old
us.
was he at this point? Bhishma Dev?
Hmm?
How old was Bhishma Dev at this point? Like he would be younger.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when he fought, um, I've seen some pictures. Like when he was rather old. So this was part of his youth
Hmm.
pastimes.
Yes, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Because, Pandu and Dhritarashtra was not even born that time. They were not there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, of course, he was very young. So, yeah, like that. Later, Amba, she was very angry. She told Bhishma Deva and basically everyone that she was in love with someone else, and his name was Shalv, so one of the king. So she told that. So Bhishma was now angry on this. That why didn't you tell this thing there only in that assembly? And in that assembly also, Shalv was also there, but he didn't dare to fight with Bhishma Deva. He was so fearful. But later, Bhishma Deva thought that I will leave this girl to that boy only. So he went, he was going to his kingdom, but in midway only, he found Shalva was also coming to their way. So they both met midway. But Shalva, he said that, oh, now I can't marry you because you have been touched by another man. So now I can't marry you. So he said such way to Amba, and now Amba was so much furious on this, and to take revenge, she said that I will only marry with Bhishma. So to take revenge, because he was brahmachari and he took this vow. So to take revenge, she decided that if I have to marry, then I'll only get married with Bhishma Deva. Otherwise, I'll not marry. So no one agreed on whatever she wanted. So later she went to the spiritual master of Bhishma Deva, that, oh, you just look, your student, he did something like this with me, and he took me from my father's kingdom, and now he's not getting married with me. So now you have to see what can be done. So later, his spiritual master, he also said, his spiritual master, do you remember the name of his spiritual master?
Sure.
Purshuram. Parshuram.
Uh,
Parshuram. So Parshuram later he challenged Bhishma Deva to fight. So this is how Bhishma Deva also fought with his own spiritual master here. So it was many days when they were fighting. Now it was impossible uh, to defeat Bhishma Deva or to even defeat Parshuram because they both were equally potent. So it was not possible to defeat any of them. So they would keep on fighting for days, for months, like that. They were fighting, 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 and no one was winning. But later, both of them were tired. They said that, there would be no end of this. So let's just forget it. Let's just forget it. Let's not fight more. So later, Amba, she she gave up her body. Basically, she got a benediction that in next life she will get a life. She will get a birth as Shikhandi to kill Bhishma Deva. So in this battlefield where Kauravas and Pandavas are there, so Shikhandi was also there here to fight from Pandavas party. So
Shikanda wanted to kill Bhishmadev
yes,
in the next life.
yes, no, Amba was there in this life, but next life she got birth as Shikhandi to kill Bhishma Deva.
When Bhishmadev was another incarnation or he was still alive?
No, no, he was still alive. He
Oh,
was
okay.
too old now when Pandavas and all those there. Now because now he was a grandfather. Later he was very young. So like that. So yeah, later those two girls, Ambika and Ambalika, they got married with Ambika and Ambalika. They got married with Chitraveer. And now Vichitraveer, because in his whole life he engaged in sense gratification. So now he became so important that he was not able to beget children from his wives because he became very important. So he died before begetting any children. But at that time, because everyone was so pious, so it was allowed that the small brother, maybe it's a long story. We will discuss it later if any point will come. But yeah, main point was this, that how Bhishma Deva, because he took this vow that he will be a servant of the one who will sit on the throne. So because this time Dhritarashtra was sitting here on the throne, so that's why he, being a servant to that king, to that person who is sitting on the throne, he was he being submissive, and he didn't say anything. So that's why even in assembly, whatever adharma was happening, they were playing gambling, they were cheating with Pandavas. Later they were uh, they did wrong things with Draupadi. So they remain silent, uh, they remain submissive, assuming themselves as the servant. So yeah, we saw that how their consciousness was contaminated because they were influenced, and they were eating under people who were following adharma, that is Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So like that. Under the circumstances, they have lost the responsibility of teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors. And therefore, to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. So, yes, it's clear. Now we will see commentary of Sridhar Swami. Let's see. I hope you can see the text nicely.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. The word Gurun refers to Drona and the other revered elders. So, Guru means not only Drona but other revered elders like Bhishma. Hatva, Ahatva means without killing. It is certainly better to live in this world by begging than to kill such exalted spiritual superiors and thereby incur sin. Otherwise, one would have to suffer only the consequences in the next world. So, what he's saying, Arjuna is saying here, that if I kill my masters, then that would result in uh, bad situations in the next life. So, next life, I would have to suffer. So, this is really very, like, this is real. This is not just a theory. If any person, whatever karma he's doing in this lifetime, then he will have to bear the fruits of whatever bad or good karma he did in this life in his next life. Now, a few days ago, my mother, she wanted to distribute some prasadam to the people who sit, beg or roams on road. So yes, we went uh, to the street, and there were some people who were sitting on the road with their tents. And you won't believe they even didn't have clothes to wear. The children, small childrens were there, girls were there, and they were roaming without clothes. They didn't have even clothes to wear. And it was, I was really not happy when I saw them in such condition. It was very terrible. So yeah, we distributed prasadam to them, and somehow I also, influenced them to chant Hare Krishna. I mean, not chant Hare Krishna, but to greet with Hare Krishna. And they were saying Hare Krishna. But, later when we were coming back, so I saw those people, they were also engaged in non-violence. Sorry, not non-violence, violence. So they were, cutting a hen and like that. So yes, I was later reflecting. It was, very terrible when I saw this. I'm already very soft-hearted, and I became very emotional when I saw all this. That
Mm.
they are in such condition where they are begging, they are sitting on road, living like this in tents, and it was really not nice. It's extremely hot, and they were sweating. Their skin tone was very dark, and yeah, they were begging. And on that also, they were committing such violence. So, yes, later I was reflecting on this, that they were doing it because of ignorance. Now, they have no idea that whatever karma they are doing, definitely, if they are in such condition, they are living on the road. So, they might have definitely done some bad karma in their past life. And result is now they are living like this on road. They are surviving, and they are suffering so much for even survival. And on that also, now because of such ignorance, they are even committing violence towards, other living beings. So yes, this is very true, that whatever karma a person is doing in this life, he will definitely have to bear results of it in their next life. And in fact, in this life also, it becomes very difficult. So I don't know, later I was reflecting what can be done with them. Maybe I should, often go there to give them food. But again, that is not possible because I can't go every day there, and because there are so many people, so I can't, you know, give so much food to them. But yeah, maybe sometimes I'll go and I'll also influence them to at least chant Maha Mantra, and maybe, Krishna will give them intelligence later. But yes, it's very much, Prabhupada emphasizes on this thing very much, that it is very much important that devotees preach this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, because people, they are they are really very blind, and they are unable to see what things they are doing in this life, and then in next life what consequences they have to suffer. So it's very much important that we give this knowledge to them. We influence them to chant. At least, we should start from chanting. Then later we can see how doors open. So, yes, human society is really in need of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, whatever bad things they are doing, assuming that it's not wrong, we are doing good, or, it's not sinful, they are engaging in sinful activities. So, here Arjuna also, he's
Just
also.
wondering, so these people that you encountered, so you were very kind to give them prasadam, and was it the same day that they've already had something to eat, some food? They were then committing violence to some animals.
Yes, actually, I didn't notice this earlier, but later when we were coming back, so there was a big line. So we went till end. Then when we were coming back to our way, so then I saw that what is this? That man, he was picking the feathers of that hen. It's it's no, it's very. I can't even explain how I felt when I saw all this. He was taking out the feather of that hen, and another hen was already there in, near of a lady, and it was, smelling very bad. And they were, also cooking some chapatis. They were cooking
Oh,
some chapatis. They were kneading dough. They were cooking some chapatis. And yeah, later with chapatis, they were about to eat something. So yeah, they were already doing all those things.
mm. So so it being very hot weather, I mean, this season, it would normally be warmer in the northern hemisphere, but it seems to be getting even hotter. From my experience, here the years have been getting every time more hot, and heat waves. They call it heat waves, when it is very unusual, very high degrees. And I imagine in India, it's always been very hot by nature, but um, so so yeah, I mean, people take their clothes off because it's very hot. Um, I was thinking like Shukadev, he wandered around that way, but it was different consciousness, of course. But then, if they're um, um, committing some violence, yeah, that's ignorance because they don't have probably any other understanding. And I hope that they were not plucking the feathers while the bird was
No,
still
no,
in
definitely not. No, no,
consciousness.
no, no, no.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, when I was a child, sometimes I would think like you're thinking, many times. Yeah, we get affected when we see these things, but then, um, yeah, I mean, we can, um, we do what we can, and then we can just, pray for them.
Yes, we can pray from them. And maybe we can ask from Krishna that he may give us intelligence so we may figure out what can be done in such situations,
Mm.
how we can help such people. Later, I was also afraid to go there for the purpose of preaching. What if they would have attacked on me?
Mm.
I was afraid of, I was thinking of about such things as well. Because a person who is engaged in violence, he can cross any limit.
Mm. I mean, maybe they're not thinking much about it. A lot of people, that they are non-veg, they would not think that there's a problem, They think it's just, um, a job or something that you do, something that happens. Um, yeah. Um, no, you're right. The consciousness around it, when you actually, because in the Western world, people just get whatever they want. They go from the supermarket and they get it very nicely packed. They don't think that much that they're suffering or anything. And I think that's why, like in the vegan groups, they want to let people see at least. And in the vegan group, a lot of people say that they eat animals because they cannot afford just the vegetarian. It doesn't make sense, but they're saying, oh, it's too expensive. In other parts of the world, maybe like in Africa, you know, um, yeah, maybe if they have like a farming system, and maybe that's why they. But then when you actually see how you have to um, kill a life in that way, and then um, do all the work of getting rid of the body parts, and all these, it's just really um like getting very intimate with another being, and um it's very tough, it's very difficult, but yeah, I mean, it's um yeah, this
Also, the
happened.
thing that you have mentioned, that people, even my mother was saying this, that, oh, maybe, because they are not able to get food, they are not able to access to vegetarian food, that's why they are killing animals like this and that's why they are eating. But yet it's very true that vegetarian food is affordable and non-veg is expensive, so that doesn't make sense. They can easily access to vegetarian food, but it's just the matter of satisfying their tongue. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's why they are doing those things.
Yes, because rice and legumes are very cheap.
Yes, very cheap, exactly. So I don't know, let's see.
Yes, and actually, from what you're reading, uh, I'm understanding that because this is, um, it's, I'm thinking the word, um, it's like a lifetime big moment that then, yes, it's going to uh, create some karma and suffering in the next life. But when we do something in this same life, you can also get it in the same life, um, a reaction, I've noticed,
Yes.
even when we don't realize, if it's very small things like an instant karma, uh, it can happen too.
Yes, so one should understand that this human life is a big responsibility. Whatever we are doing, we will have to bear fruit of that. Maybe it's good or bad. It will come because human life means a responsible life. Because other beings, because they have no such consciousness, so that they may understand what is dharma or adharma. So that's why there is no sinful reaction for them, but it is applicable on us because we have such understanding. We can understand what is dharma or what is adharma. So same way Arjuna is putting this over here, that if I'll kill my exalted spiritual superiors, so then I have to suffer only the consequences of that. By killing these gurus, however, one would not only incur the sufferings of hell in the next life, but would also experience misery in this very world. This is the implication of the word ihaiva here itself. So, yes, see, you can see whatever you said. Arjuna is also saying this, that in this life also he has to experience the misery. But you will see in the case of devotees, because they are living Krishna conscious life, so this life also becomes very easy. We don't have to make many endeavors, or we don't have to work very hard, because people are working hard because of their unnecessary desires. Plus, because their life is not Krishna, so they are always distressed, they are always in anxiety. But in this life only, devotees can experience life becomes very easy. Then what to say of next life when we'll go back to Krishna only? Anyone, suppose a person was not able to go back to Krishna in this life. So next life also he will get in a way where he will be able to serve Krishna nicely. Having slain these gurus, we would enjoy only blood stained wealth and sense pleasures. Rudhira pradigdhan arth kaman. For those enjoyments would be tainted by their blood. So, we also saw this in our first chapter where Arjuna was talking about atatai, aggressors. So, in that, yeah, we saw that, a person who has killed his spiritual master is also Atatai. There were 5 to 6 meanings of Atatai. So one of them was this also. So that's why he's saying those enjoyments would be tainted by blood. Another meaning is that these revered teachers are themselves attached to wealth because they are overcome by the desire for material gain. They will not withdraw from this battle. Therefore, we shall inevitably have to become the cause of their death. Now, this is very interesting what he's saying. So, word was Atmakaman. Sorry, not Atmakaman, Arthakaman. Arth means wealth and Kaman means attachment. So, Arjuna is saying here that these revered teachers, first of all, like previously, he was saying another meaning of Arthakaman, that if I'm thinking of my sense pleasure and I kill my masters, so even that sense enjoyment, those enjoyments would be tainted by their blood. We will understand meaning of this later in another commentary of Ramanujacharya. It's very short commentary, just 4 lines commentary. But yeah, so here he took this meaning, but now he's taking another meaning. See, it's written also, another meaning is that. Now he's telling about his own masters that they are Arthakaman, means they are themselves attached to wealth. So just like you will see a thirsty person, if a person, if he's thirsty, so that person will think nothing except water. He will be, anxious that, oh, I'm thirsty, I don't want anything, I just want water, I just want to quench my thirst. That's it. So I don't want anything else, I just want water. So he's so much uh thirsty. So he's only hankering for water and nothing else. So this way, Arjuna is saying that these superiors, these revered teachers, they are themselves attached to wealth. And now, because they are so much overwhelmed by the desire of such material gain, wealth, so they will not understand. They will not withdraw from this battle because they are attached with, they are so much hankering for material gain. They want to win this battle. That's why they are, they are ready to fight it. Yes, they are ready to fight. So even if we try to pacify them that, oh, we are brothers, we are, relatives, so we should not fight like this, we should, become friends again. So even if we try to pacify them, they will not understand, they will not withdraw themselves from this battle because they are so much attached, they have such desires for material gain. So this is another meaning of arth kaman. And you will, if we see this in today's life also, if we see this in this example in today's life, so you will see dairy pe- people, they are torturing cows or other animals. So this also shows they are arth kaman. They are so much attached with their desires of enjoyment or gratifying their senses. That's why they are, engaging in such violence. They are, torturing cows and other animals. Or even, I don't know about West, but in India it is happening. The milk which comes in packet. So people, how they are producing that milk? They are mixing some liquids, chemical liquids, to make it, white like color, same as milk. And even taste also, when you drink that chemical drink, there is nothing, like not even a single particle of milk in that liquid, but they are producing it in a way that it may appear like a milk, and then they are selling it. And it's very, very poisonous, actually very dangerous for health. Even
Mm.
WHO, World Health Organization, has announced this, that if people will drink such type of packet milk, then they will become victim of cancer in future.
Yeah. Are these like plant milks that they add more things, or or the cow's milk? They're adding more things too,
No, they are, making milk from other kind of liquid.
like oats and
Not oats, no, not oats. Chemical, like, detergent.
oh,
Yes.
this is not possible that they
Yes,
can get.
yes, it is possible. I will also send you a video. That video was also leaked, and those people, they were covering their faces when they were making that, so that no one may catch them that they are the victims. But yes, they were producing that milk, and on that also they were saying that, to maintain our lives, and to, you know basically to maintain our lives, we are doing such business. We don't care
Oh,
about,
I see.
others life. If they want, if they sick, let them get sick. But we are only caring about our lives. We want money, that's why we are doing such business.
Uh, so they're selling it as if it is pure cow's milk, or some kind of.
No, they are not mixing anything in cow's milk. They are producing it with, different kind of liquids like detergent and whatever things comes.
Ah. But then when someone drinks it, they can see that it's it doesn't wouldn't taste very good. You would be able to
Yeah,
tell
but
and to not
people
get the
they are very much habitual of consuming milk, especially in India. People are so much habitual. They can't
yeah.
quit dairy, like it's impossible for them. So yeah, they are
Mm.
consuming. And you can also see the consequences. People, they are becoming sick very often. Even young children, because they are consuming such kind of milk and other dairy products, they are also becoming sick. They are suffering
Mm.
from different diseases. But because doctors also, they are not giving right education, they are not educating them that what to eat, what not to eat, because doctors also now, they only want to earn profit. So
Yes, like I am very um shocked that nowadays, yes, people are very desperate, but um in in places like India, the cow is supposed to uh, be seen as the equivalent to um like a mother earth. I think I may have been, I don't know if I said it correctly the other time. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam, the bull has the four legs, and those are the pillars of Dharma. And then the cow is related somehow to earth.
cow,
Hmm.
mm, related means.
So the bull represents the the four pillars of Dharma, the austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, and is it compassion, the other one? And um, so that's the bull. But then um, the cow is um,
So, you are mixing two stories. You might have heard, you read it in Krishna book that Mother Earth took, a form of cow when she was suffering, and then she
um,
went to Brahma. So you are mixing here. But anyways, yes,
a
you're right.
mother.
That
Mhm.
bull, the four legs represents dharma, that you mentioned. But yes, in Kali Yuga, only one is left, that is truthfulness. And that is also, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, these things are happening even in
Child.
India. So this is because of the influence of Kali Yuga, and we cannot do anything in that. All we
Yeah.
can do is we can try to preach Krishna consciousness, and we should try to see ourselves fortune, that we are lucky that we are able to perceive these things, we are able to understand that how we need to follow things in correct way, and our consciousness is not so contaminated that we are blindly following such things which people are following. So it's real mercy.
Yes. And because I was vegetarian since I was 12 years old. I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I want to be vegetarian because of these things, like what you're saying. So, I very young, I said, I don't want to engage. But, in that kind of thing going on in the world. But I did have milk as vegetarian, and I don't judge if if people in India, like I understood that if they're roaming around and they're free and they're treated nicely, of course, the milk is fine. It's not even pasteurized. So it's not, processed. It's something that is giving, like nature gives, fruits and naturally. Um, um, but what you were saying about the chemicals, I always have to be very careful myself when I buy the ones that are packaged because yes, they put like this kind of calciums that make the milk more white, and I don't think it's very good to drink too much calcium because you need to know how to balance in the minerals like from cow is naturally it would have lots of minerals. You would have magnesium as well. So only to have calcium on its own doesn't mean, that it does have the benefits of cow milk. It's not like that. You still need to make sense of have nutrition from everything. So it's good you mentioned this thing because you know it's important. Like Srila Prabhupada says, you need to have a good nutrients for your brain so that you can have the knowledge absorbed. And and of course, I mean that's one aspect. So, and we have to be healthy so that we can serve, you know. Yeah, and we need to know how to do it so that it is in a dharmic way. Um, so, it's good that we discuss those things because, um, yeah, it's
Hmm. So, whatever
yeah.
such things we see happening, it's because of the influence of Kali Yuga. And no matter how much money we pay, we will never get pure things now as it was earlier. And, it's now time is passing and things will get more worst. So, intelligence is we serve Krishna nicely and we go back to Krishna. Otherwise, if by chance we take another birth in this age only, Kali Yuga, then things are not very nice in future. It will get more worst. So yeah, this is good time. We are Krishna conscious, and yeah, we serve nicely and we go back to him. So you can see Arjuna's arguments are very strong. It's like very difficult to defeat them. It's not very easy, and his arguments are very strong. And just see he's so daring. He's speaking all these things in front of Krishna, assuming him as his friend. So in this connection, Bhishma says to Yudhishthira Maharaj, which we already saw in Gita Bhushan commentary, a man becomes the servant of wealth, but wealth never becomes the servant of anyone. This is the truth. O king, I am bound by the wealth of the Kauravas. He further implies that although he is supporting Adharma, he remains bound by this obligation. Who? Bhishma. Arjuna then continues, nor do we know which would be better for us, whether we should conquer them or they should conquer us. This is what he expresses in the next verse, beginning with Nacha, nor do we know. So, that next verse we'll see in our next class. Now, we will discuss commentary of Ramanujacharya. It's very short, only 2 minutes. Bhishma, Drona, and the other elders are my revered teachers, whom I deeply honor. How can I possibly bring myself to kill such exalted person? Although they are attached to worldly enjoyment, if I were to slay them, how could I sit in their very seats and enjoy the wealth and pleasure that would be stained with their blood? So, for example, a person he killed his spiritual master, means master guru, and earlier, suppose his guru was eating in a gold plate, and now if I killed the guru, So I will have those properties, I will enjoy the wealth and pleasure. But just imagine this scene. The moment that person who killed his own guru, he is consuming in the same gold plate in which his guru was eating. So he's also eating it. So whenever he will see that gold plate, he will look, he will look the face of his guru in that plate. He will remember that how earlier his guru used to eat in that plate, but now I am eating in it. So he will not be able to eat it nicely because he will remember that what all sins I committed. I killed my own guru and now I'm consuming in his plate. So this is what it means that uh, you know enjoy the wealth and pleasures that would be stained with their blood. So stained with their blood, not exactly the blood in that plate or the throne in which he will sit, but he will remember that what bad things he did. He killed his own guru, his own superiors, and now whenever he will sit on the throne or rule the kingdom, so he will remember those moments. It happens, if a son has passed his body at very young age, so their parents, when they look at the things which his son was their son was possessing, his clothes or in his room, so they will remember their son, right? It happens. So same way, this is what it means, what Arjuna is saying here. How could I ever accept or enjoy such pleasures, knowing that they had been obtained through the killing of those who I so greatly revere? Their wealth and enjoyments would be tainted by the blood of my own teachers, and therefore they will never bring me true happiness. So I hope you were able to, understand
Yeah,
this.
thank you. Because this is very pretty much like Arjuna was saying before that if even if he had in the earlier verses he was saying even if he had the victory, he was winning and had recognition, it wouldn't mean anything for him because then he couldn't live with that um, guilt.
Yes, he
So
was saying this in first chapter also, but now he is saying same thing but with strong arguments. Like this he was saying tainted with blood. So this really doesn't sound very nice, but to give strong arguments, he was saying the same thing in such way so that it may impact Krishna. But Krishna is God, he will later know how Krishna will influence him to do whatever he wanted to do, whatever he wished Arjuna do. So like that.
yeah, so can I ask, so um, I'm not sure if I'm understanding where these acharyas and the Srila Prabhupada included, at some point they are supporting Arjuna. They're saying no, he's a pure devotee, and he's prepared to go begging instead. Um, Prabhupada is saying that it's okay. In
No,
with the
no,
one
he's
which
not
is
saying it's okay. He never said that. Please try to understand. Whatever acharyas you will read commentaries of different acharyas, but it's not like they are saying different in some, they are not, their commentaries are not contradictory. They are
no,
following
no.
same.
Yes, yes, of course. I mean, I understand that even some of the acharyas that you know are sharing Prabhupada did take inspiration from, or he may have quoted those purpose for his to help him, share. Um, but I thought that it did say that. So this one is 2.5. So
You want me to take out his purport? See, it's here.
um
So maybe you can read this purport again if you have doubt. Please read.
um so we where was it? I'm sorry, I apologize. So we haven't read 2.6 yet.
No, no, we are on 2.5.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, just this morning before we were going to uh meet, I just briefly was wondering where we left off. And I think Prabhupada was saying that Arjuna is virtuous because of everything that he's saying. But maybe we can discuss it um, for the next.
So definitely see, Arjuna is virtuous, he is pure devotee, but it's Krishna who, influenced him in such way that he is behaving in such way so that later to, uh, you know, to basically destroy his attachment and whatever false uh, conceptions he had about material life. So in order to destroy that and in order to give us guidance on how we should also destroy all the attachments and false conceptions on our life. So for that, Krishna influenced Arjuna in that way. He invoke attachment in his heart, so he was behaving in this way, and now later Krishna will give him guidance, and that way he will teach him that how to move on in life and follow correct things and basically how to devote to me.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
definitely we should not doubt that Arjuna is ordinary like us, or he has also contaminated consciousness like us. No, it's Krishna who influenced him in that way. Okay, anything else?
Um, when you mentioned River Ganga,
Hmm.
there is a relationship to Shiva, Lord Shiva, but he's
Yeah,
not
Lord
married
Shiva,
to
in his,
her.
that bun, he put river Ganga here on his head. It's also mentioned in
Um,
Srimad Bhagavatam.
uh-huh. So
You know why it was happening? I heard it. So we already know that Mother Ganga, it flows from the lotus feet of Vaman Deva. But she became so, she became so ecstatic and she was flowing so much. So, in order to, take her in control, Lord Shiva, he, put him to his head to
uh,
take her in control like that.
I see. I see. So Bhishma Dev was married to her.
Bhishma Deva was
Um,
not married.
so
Shantanu,
so
you might be
Ganga River.
Shantanu, King Shantanu was,
So there was two. Yeah, Shantanu and the River Ganga.
yes,
So they were his wives.
yes,
So he was married.
Shantanu, na?
To
See,
to
Bhishma
Bhishma,
Deva is son of Mother Ganga.
son of and then the other lady,
Satyavati,
yeah, Satyavati.
stepmother of Bhishma Deva.
Uh okay, I don't know why we're getting confused.
You have
Maybe maybe it was
time.
these other three sisters that wanted to marry him. Uh
Yeah.
I got confused. I thought that I heard that those two were related to him in that sense. But okay, so is his mother.
See, Bhishma Deva is a brahmachari, a
Mhm.
perfect celibate. He never got married. And
Yes.
his mother is Mother Ganga, and his father is Shantanu, King Shantanu. And Shantanu has another wife, Satyavati, who is stepmother of Bhishma Deva.
Uh, uh,
It's okay.
okay.
I think you are tired today. So maybe we can discuss
Yeah,
this
you
point.
know, no, it's yeah, there's many personalities and names, so I need to make sure that I understand it better. Okay, thank you. Thank you so
Okay, thank
much.
you so much. We'll stop here now. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki,
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.